Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello. It's Tuesday. I always say it wrong. I'm going to try to get it.
I know we
Tuesdays with Thriving.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Right? I did it in the right order this
Good
time.
job. Very proud of you.
This should be a great live. I got that right.
Yeah, Tuesdays with Thriving. Here we are. Brandy and Shannon.
Yeah. It's been a big day. A creative, thriving day.
Yeah.
So we have our new logo out
there. You guys
there.
get to check out our new logo.
Yay, Amanda.
Howdy.
So new logo is out. Tyra at Gallon, Colorado did that for us, and I'm excited.
Yes, me as well.
And you did a flyer today.
I finished up the flyer now that we have a new logo to put on it.
It all came together
yes.
on Tuesday. Tuesday must be our day.
Tuesday is a powerful day.
So if anyone wants to scatter flyers around, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, Amanda loves our new logo. And we've got, we're getting close. It is 2.5 weeks.
I think, 2 weekends, 3 weekends, in 3 weekends.
In 3 weekends.
We have a weekend and then Mother's Day weekend and then the weekend.
So Sun Valley, and we had another couple join. So we now have 5 couples. Still room for potentially 2 more as long as Sun Valley says we can get them in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Park City is good to go.
Yep.
So
we're confirmed.
Confirmed and ready to go July 26th through 28th.
Yes, ma'am. That is
so come play. Retreats. And our topic tonight, how do we word it? We did it's out of my brain. It just left. It's what do you do?
What do you do when there's no room to compromise?
Yeah.
When there's not a compromise to be met.
Where you just can't get to a compromise.
Yeah.
You just have these fun opinions that come from a real place, and you just keep coming back. So I looked it up before we started, and the Gottman site that there is.
Get a sitter, Amanda. Come to Park City.
Oh, perfect.
Secure one now.
Find someone now. That there's 69% of the conflict that we have as couples is perpetual.
Yep.
So we're just fighting about the same thing over and over and over. And I'm sure as we say that, you can probably think, you know.
We fight about where money should be spent, and we fight about if we should be more patient or more soft or less reactive about the kids' behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And we fight. Yeah, it's mostly we fight about where money should go.
That's your number one.
That's usually our number one.
And so those topics that we keep coming back to,
mm-hmm.
oftentimes there's a reason that we keep coming back to it. We're passionate about whatever our quote unquote side is because of something. There's a reason for that. And so the first step is to look at what that is. What's the underlying? So we need a topic to fight over. If you are, you can be the Democrat, I can be the Republican. We're not ever I'm not going to get you to my side. You're not going to get me here.
No amount of Facebook memes or posts or comments.
Shaming will shaming work.
Nope. Not going to happen.
No. And so I would want to go to Brandy and say, can you actually explain to me what are the reasons that you feel the way you feel? Because there are underlying pieces to this. She's not just trying to make me mad.
Right.
And then I would explain why I feel the way I feel. And then we would maybe a compromise or a workaround would be let's just not talk about this at dinner. This probably isn't a great dinner conversation. Probably not a holiday conversation. Maybe if we're just in really good spirits, we can.
Right. Yeah. It just depends on the conversation, right? There are some, Brandon and I probably always fight about money on some level, at
mm-hmm.
least have disagreements because we have really different ideas of what is exciting to spend money on.
Where it should go.
It just isn't. And I know he's never going to be excited about spending money on some of the things I'm excited about. And
right.
I will never be excited about spending money on some of the things he's excited about. We do have some common things, you know. So like in that area, like we both have to practice reminding ourselves that, but I'm happy when you're happy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
Like I don't have to love, like, you know, he does not have to love my yoga things or my metaphysical play. Like he doesn't have to love that, but he can appreciate that it's something that brings me joy. And so even if he kind of thinks, you know, Brandy, that's a little
out there,
snake oil or whatever you want to call it, right? Like for he and I to kind of be able to still feel connected, like he has that opportunity just to at least support that it's something that brings me joy, and vice versa.
Yeah,
like,
that's great.
He likes to buy tennis shoes. He likes to go camping. I'm not really a camper, right? He has his hobbies that like he wants certain gear for and things like that. And so like it never makes sense to me, but I have to trust that like this is a passion of his. So even if I don't love it, like I love him. And so that's okay.
And you'll go camping like once a month.
Yeah, and I committed this summer that I would go camping once a month. Next weekend is the first go.
There's the workaround. Yeah, I went out this morning and I was able to do an intensive this weekend. So this is day like 9 of my work week. So I'm not in the brightest and shiniest place
today. You are bright and shiny.
Oh. So I asked Brad, I was like, I can't think of anything this morning. Like, what is and he immediately had answers for me today. So I was like, well, apparently it's good that he can answer. So one of our perpetual conflicts have been over my definition of clean and his definition of clean. And the things that I feel are important to have done, the dust in the corners and everything really nice, and the definition of what he thinks should be done. And I think we've, over the years, have reached this compromise place to where if it's just day to day, I'm fine. But if company's coming
every 6 weeks,
about every 6 weeks,
the corners have to be clean.
I've got to do it. There's got to be a day where we're all hands on deck and we get into the corners and yeah, and he will never, I don't think, value that amount of cleanliness like I do. I really
probably not. He probably never will.
Compromising and accepted. He will never clean. I know. You just have to. The details are not there. He's not purposely not seeing it.
Right.
It's just not. It must be a beautiful thing to walk in the room and not
right
see the things that I see. So. The other funny one that you brought up, which I'd forgotten about, is that we're both vandals. And at U of I, it's a big deal between the Greek system and the GDI, the independent system. And so we are on opposites in that, and there's been some really rich conversation through the years over that one, which just seems like, I was telling Brandy about it, and she's like, I don't even
know what you're talking about. I was like,
why would you have perpetual conflict over sororities and fraternities?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I'm sure the vandals out there will understand this.
Clearly there, which was my favorite to hear like that really helped put it in my mind that it was like, how unique are those things that we really get gridlocked over, right? Like they probably are like less common and more very specialized to each person because
we hang on to.
Right? There's something deeply rooted in it, right? I mean, when we kind of dissected that one playfully, it was like clearly there was a lot like from childhood and how both of you had been raised about what was important and why it was important. And it wasn't that, you know, there was no value in what the other said. It was just like, well, I was just raised to wear a blue jacket and you were raised to wear a red jacket. And it's not that I hate red or that I hate blue, right? It was just, that's what we're familiar with. And that was kind of part of the lens that we grew up with.
Yeah. So it's that, I think, you know, those are one of the topics that we go, we won't talk about them very often, but the workaround is like, what's important to us? Because obviously neither one of us care about going back to college and entering either the dorms of the Greek system at this moment. And so it is for our children, it is very important to us that they feel like the world is open.
Yeah.
And so we can have each other's backs in that. I think that the cleaning one is universal. I don't know. I've met some clients and some guys that like they clean better than I do. I think.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I've probably been. I've been on both sides of that, where I was the messier one and I was the one that wanted it. It just depended on the situation. Like going through grad school definitely helped me learn to like let go of like the need that things had to be a certain level of cleanliness. Like nowadays I can almost outlast Brandon.
You've come so far.
I've come so far. Yep. In fact, when we were leaving, he was like shuffling dishes through the dishwasher that I've just been like restacking in the corner. Bless his heart.
What's some other ways when you hit that? Oh, the donut. We should just grab the donut.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So one of the exercises I do with couples when they hit that, like the point of we're not really going to be able to see eye to eye. So if you draw a donut, draw 2 circles on a piece of paper. Inside the middle is like, what are the core needs in this area? And that's what the core need of the Greek versus dorms was, that our kids get to make decisions for themselves. And so that would be, in core need. And then the outside is flexible needs. So it could be what's a simple argument? Like I want maybe like what we do for the holidays or a vacation that you're going to take. Yeah. Or, where to go on a vacation. You could do, my core needs would have an ocean.
Yes.
my flexible needs would be which ocean. I failed on the homemaker. I've been forgiving and helping. Oh, this is good. Loading the dishwasher. Yeah.
Totally. I'm a Tetris person. And
have to have it all.
Yeah.
But being able to, because a lot of times you can at least get to that. You can at least be able to meet at the core needs. You're not going to be able to each have the exact thing that you're dreaming.
Right. And when you do that compromise, you really want to try and keep that inflexible or the core need or whatever you want to call it, the middle of the donut. Like we want as few things there as possible, but you need to put the things that if you don't have that, like you're going to maybe feel like you've betrayed yourself.
Yeah.
Or, like you're going to feel that inside that like, this is wrong, or I don't know that I can settle with this.
Well, and if you settle with something that feels like that, you're going to hold it over somebody's
head. It'll become a resentment. It'll, you'll be recircling back to it. And so, but yeah, you do want to keep that smaller area or that middle area just as small as you can. And then when you figure out what that little area is, those really important things, those are actually really good opportunities for conversation, right? Because sometimes what we find out is like the core need really has to do with like, I just need to feel respected. Like, I just need to feel like I just want to feel included. Like, it could just be,
we're back to being included.
Yeah, right?
Really?
Shannon totally knows. Like, this is a big deal for me, right? Like, it's oftentimes easy when I've been triggered or something's gone wrong. Like, it's really easy to find, like, the really large thread in my life that's like, I didn't feel included, right? But yeah, like, those are really cool conversations that can be had once you narrow it down to those core needs, which will make it oftentimes when we understand, I'm not just trying to piss you off. And I don't just think that your idea is stupid, right? Like, really, it comes down to this really basic need. And oftentimes it's like, I need to feel loved. I need to feel included. I need to feel like I have a voice in it. Or, I need to feel respected. I need to feel like I'm important. Or, whatever that need might be for you. That's a good conversation to be able to have with your partner. Because when you can put it into that lens and we no longer feel defensive or like attacked about it, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, I don't have to love it, but I get it now, and I can work with that
and respect that. Yeah. I'm sure my clients really appreciate it when I'm like, all right, deeper, like, and why? Why is that important to you? And well, because it is. Well, why? Like, and just keep going underneath layers until you can get to the real reason.
Yeah.
It's another way to play with.
It could be that like maybe we learn that there's certain topics that we just don't talk about, right? Like I mean, and it's going to vary depending on the topic. Like, I mean, you know, we've got friends that are like one end Republican, one end Democrat or something like, right? And they just learn, like, we just don't talk politics. Right. We can talk about lots of other things. And when politics start to come up, we know to get in different rooms, right? If there's a gathering of people,
we'll put signage up.
Then this is something we do. And, you know, and you have to be able to decide, like, are all the other things about this person worthwhile enough that, like, yeah, I'm probably never going to get him or her to my side on this idea.
Right.
But, like, yep, we can just not talk about that.
Yeah, and that's the other significant point is that there will always be, you're never going to find a person that aligns, and why would you want that? That's too much sameness. Like, that would take all the fun out of it. You do not want, you know, just a carbon copy of you.
Right.
And so understanding that, you know, just like that donut exercise we were talking about is like our core needs in relationship, you know, is probably not that our partner believes that cleanliness should be XYZ. Right. You know, it's probably, you know, there's a lot of things that outweigh that. And so just realizing that that doesn't mean you're broken. Right. And that doesn't mean that your person is wrong, wrong for you, fundamentally wrong. Over something is because there is an underlying issue. Yeah, and I would say that mad, you know, again, the catchphrases that my clients love to hear me say is that anytime someone says, like, I'm just angry about that, or I'm frustrated or annoyed, I'm always like, all right, well, anger is usually secondary. What's underneath? Right. Because generally when someone's really, you know, passionate about something and it's coming out as anger, there's usually fear there, or embarrassment, or rejection, or there's something underneath. I mean, sometimes you can just be angry, but usually if you're getting to that point, defenses are coming out for some reason, and that is because there's a bigger underlying emotion. And so you're always digging down to, you know, why do you think that makes you mad? Right. And if you want to try to be able to dig deeper, we have to be able to try and create an environment that allows that conversation, right? Like, it's super hard, especially, like, most of us learn this the hard way, right? We end up in these fights and we say things that we wish we hadn't said later, or we say things that maybe we don't really mean. And that can start to make the environment difficult to have some of these more vulnerable conversations, or to have the space to, like, try to investigate, why do I feel that way, right? And I think last week or the week before, I talked a little bit about this, of just like, when I said, Brandon, I just need you to listen to me. I need to process this out loud, so I need you to be a pulse in the room that doesn't say anything, right? And he was able to do that, and it allowed me to have the space to kind of go through something that was uncomfortable for me, but I didn't quite understand what was happening on the surface. But the more I dug, the more I understood about it. So that's something that's really important, is just when we want to have these conversations, you know, if you feel like you're not getting to have these conversations, find out, what could I do to help my partner feel like they could talk about this? Right. Creating safety for that. Yeah. What would help you? You know, how do I need to just be quiet in the room? Do I, you know, like, you can ask that and kind of see if they know, and maybe they don't know, you know. A lot of times we find out we've never had very good experiences being able to talk about vulnerable things. Right. You know, so it's new to find out what I need to be able to talk about some of these hard things. Yeah, it's not exactly been something a lot of us have been coached in. Is there an emotion chart you have, primary and secondary? No. If you Google primary and secondary emotions, like, and go to images, you'll probably find lots of charts. I'm sure we can find some. I do is just, when I hit anger, I generally, like, if someone's struggling to find the underlying piece, I just hand them a list of emotions and get them talking. Like, what else was there? Like, you were angry because, well, I was hurt. Well, I was rejected. Well, I was, you know, and so then you can do it that way. But yeah, I don't know. We can Google an image. There's lots. There's loads of images of different emotions. Yeah, I think that's a great point, though, the safety piece. So if you want to go to these more perpetual conflicts, go with, in parenting, I think has really taught me, like, I have to be on the game on attitude at times. And it's like, all right, I'm going to make sure that everyone cleans their room before anyone gets a device or anyone has friends today. And I kind of have to, like, mindset, like, I'm going to stay calm and I'm just going to be sending everyone back over and over while they tell me that I have unrelenting standards in cleaning. and it's kind of in these conversations, like, it can be game on. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to stay cool. We're going to take breaks if we need to, and we're really going to try and get somewhere instead of it spinning out of control like it does.
Right. And one way you can practice it is, it can be hard to do that if both of you are spun up in a situation, right? That can be a really hard time to try to practice it if we haven't set much groundwork. But if you see your partner doing it, like and maybe it's not at you, right? Maybe they had a different interaction with an extended family member or something at work. Like, that can be a good opportunity for you as the support partner to kind of practice, like, just trying to genuinely, like, hold space and ask questions that kind of help dig to that bottom, or take their side, right? Like, if you can align with your partner when they're going through stress, you'll be amazed at kind of what doors can open to have conversations. And then when you start to build that foundational, brick by brick that says, oh, look, I can talk to Shannon about these things, or like, that was a good experience, that went better than I would have guessed it would have, right? And you start to change the culture in the relationship that says, we can have uncomfortable conversations, and I can talk about hard things with you, and you're not going to fillet me with it, right? That's the fear.
Right. And we can always validate the emotion. I mean, that's the important piece, is like, even though maybe you don't understand why your person's so passionate about something, you can say, like, all right, I can see that that really upsets you. I can validate that. Even though over here you're like, I don't know why it upsets her that there's dust under the couch. It doesn't bother me, but I validate that that's a big thing for you, and I will hold the couch up while you get it. 2 straight hours to clean the house 1 weekend day a week. Started before a relationship, so I found what fixed. Yeah, exactly. If you can find those workarounds, are always, if you can. In our house, it's Brad is the cook and I do the laundry, and it took like 15 years to figure out that balance, but we have it down, and I think I really enjoy it. Yeah, we had pesto chicken something last night. Yeah, so good. And so it says, like, if you can get to a point of, like, again, what is something you can both commit to that doesn't cause resentment? Right. So it's something like, we're going to turn on the music for 2 hours, and we're all going to help, and we're all going to be here. Yeah. But you always have to clean to The Greatest Showman soundtrack. That makes it all better. A lot of that. Alexa, play Greatest Showman. I have to be quiet, or she'll start playing. Any other questions out there?
That's probably quite a bit. I mean, that's some potential take homes to kind of try, and maybe some insights or aha moments for yourself. I'm not sure what else I would add to that. Yeah, just go underneath. I think I wrote a blog after our last retreat that was called "It's Not About the Ham." That covers this topic, which is like, go underneath. Anything that's perpetual, it's because you're passionate about it, and there's a reason there. Right. So go digging. Mining for gold. Yeah, do it. Let's finish out with retreats. Come play with us at retreats. Yep. So if you're still considering Sun Valley, you've got a couple weeks. So far, the hotel is still letting us throw names to them. So if you think last minute, maybe you'd like to get in, reach out to us, and we'll find a way to make it work. And if not, look at the end of July. Park City should be a lot of fun. We're excited to get to go play there. The hotel we're working with has been really great to work with so far, and I expect things to go really smoothly.
And this is the first one we're trying over 3 days.
Yes.
So we're going to meet a little bit on Friday, and so you can get out earlier on Saturday to go play, because we didn't want you to, travel to Park City and not be able to enjoy all that there's so many activities there.
Yeah.
So, and then Sunday we'll wrap up a little earlier. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. If you like what you heard tonight, please don't hesitate to share this video.
Ooh,
and,
next week we should cover Mother's Day.
Okay.
That's always a fun one.
Yes. Yes, let's. All right. Talk to you guys next week.